When Zhu Houzong first succeeded his cousin on the throne in 1521 and adopted the new name Jiajing, many who had personally known the emperor before he ascended the throne shuddered unpleasantly. Rumors of Zhu Houzong's peculiar tastes and predilections persisted through the halls of the Forbidden City, and few in Beijing would want to test the reality of these behind-the-scenes conversations. The very name Jiajing can be translated as admirable tranquility. Indeed, in the early months of his reign, the emperor restrained himself enough to live up to the imperial name. But then he began to smoothly push through his line, changing several fundamental dynastic customs, causing the first discontents to appear at court who disagreed with the new trends. The first public discontent was clearly expressed already at the end of 1521. But the emperor did not tolerate the willfulness of officials and aristocrats, which showed his true nature, dealing with opponents' mass imprisonment in prisons. It can be said that from that moment, admirable tranquility was interrupted, and never began. That an emperor had several wives and concubines is a standard phenomenon in China. The fact that none of the wives, except for the eldest empress wife, nor any of the concubines could deny the emperor his wishes is a consequence of the divine status of the ruler. The fact that getting into the Forbidden City, hundreds, and even thousands of concubines found themselves in aggressive, powerless conditions, full of conspiracies, intrigues and betrayals. But got their chance for elevation, also a well-known fact. So what made Emperor Jiajing different from other Chinese emperors? Jiajing, like many cruel rulers, was very afraid of death, so he became fascinated with Taoism and began to search for a magic elixir to acquire eternal life. And it was this elixir, or rather his search for it, became the cause of the Renyan conspiracy, because together with prominent Taoist monks and alchemists of the time, the emperor began to experiment exclusively on his harem. Of course, no elixir existed, and many specialists who were under the emperor knew it, but continued to bend their line solely in order to get fabulous riches for their scientific work as long as possible. And the work consisted in the following collection of menstrual blood of innocent girls, which was processed in a special way for the reception of the emperor. That's why from all over China in the Forbidden City literally in droves brought manufacturers of this product. In addition, the brought girls were fed exclusively with rainwater and mulberry leaves, so that any secretions were as pure and charged as possible. Some of the test subjects were deliberately abused and beaten, as it was believed that constant suffering could energize the potion. More and more often the abuse took place in moments of sweet pleasures, because the combination of pain and special, intimate energy was able to create certain compositions. Naturally, after such torture, the girls lost the most important quality and passed into the category of ordinary concubines, with whom the experiments continued for the soul. The emperor trusted his Esculapists and clergymen more and more, and every week he became more and more involved in pleasant experiments. That is why 16 of the bravest concubines, tired of enduring fear, pain and humiliation, conspired to terminate the life of the torturer in 1542. It happened in the year of Renyan, from which the conspiracy got its name. When the emperor entered the chambers of his beloved wife Duan and, having done his work, was resting alone, 16 brave girls broke into the room. Having no weapons, but using their collective strength, they were able to twist Jiajing and pin him to the carpet. One of the concubines, taking a silk cord from a nearby curtain, pulled down the emperor's strong neck, but did not have the strength or skill to finish the job. The emperor only fainted, causing the concubines to scatter, happy with their success. Until the next afternoon, Jiajing remained unconscious, and no one dared enter the chambers to disturb the emperor's rest. At this time, one of the conspirators, who was not involved in the attack, succumbed to fear and told Empress Fang everything. The emperor was found and rescued. All of the female members of the conspiracy faced certain death, and one of the most cruel executions of modern times was chosen, death by 1,000 cuts, about which it is time to write a separate article. In addition, Fang took advantage of the situation and eliminated Duan's longtime rival, in whose chambers the assassination attempt took place. Jiajing himself was so afraid of a conspiracy afterward that he pathologically distrusted his cronies, so for 2 decades of his truly gruesome rule gained fame as one of the most brutal rulers of China. However, he did not meddle with his experiments with concubines anymore, he was afraid of repetition.